Cooking with the Colin Campbell Center for Nutrition Studies. My name is Dr. Asopao, and today I want to share with you one of my favorite fall recipes, actually all year round. It's October, it's starting to get a little chilly, so we're all in the mood for soup. And what better soup than a bean asopao? So I grew up in Puerto Rico, and we love asopao. Asopao is actually a thick soup, sort of like a stew, that has usually beans or animal ingredients, but today we're making it plant-based. So the base of the asopao, it has to have some rice. That's why it's called asopao. So in order to get started on this, we're gonna start with our sofrito. And sofrito is a blend of onions, peppers, sweet peppers, culantro. So all of those together will make a sofrito. And traditionally in Puerto Rico, what we do is we take maybe an afternoon and we blend all of these ingredients together and freeze it. So we have our sofrito all ready. So this is, I put it in little ice cubes starting to melt, but we have it in the refrigerator. So that may be something you want to do. Maybe blend your onion and peppers if you're using a lot of those. So by freezing them, you keep them fresh. But no worries if you don't have that. I usually cut up onions and peppers anyway, even if I have sofrito ready to go. So we're gonna saute our onions here. Remember, no oil, so we're just adding the onions. It's about 1/4 of a cup, and we have shared the recipe with you on the description, so you can follow along. I'm gonna add the peppers. So we have onions and peppers. So the sofrito usually has sweet peppers and garlic, but I like to add the garlic a little bit later so that I keep that garlic taste. I'm gonna add about 1/2 cup of carrots, 1/4 cup to 1/2 cup of carrots, and I'm keeping the peel as always because we want to retain as much fiber as possible and a lot of these phytonutrients. So I'm just gonna add a little bit of veggie broth. Oh, I wish you guys could smell this. It smells amazing. All right, so now we're gonna add some tomato paste, so about 1 tablespoon of tomato paste. Yum. All right, so to make this asopao, you should always get some plantains because that really brings a great flavor and also helps to thicken the soup, the asopao. So plantains come in different sizes and different maturity or different ripening stages. So you want to get the biggest ones, usually the ones that are really small and maybe not as thick. Those usually have been put in the refrigerator and they've been picked early, so they're not gonna taste as good. So if you look, these are nice and thick. And you can see this one is green, it's starting to ripen, and this one is fully ripe. So for, if you want to bake the plantain or have it in a sweet recipe, you can use this one. For this type of recipe, we're using closer to a green plantain. So just cut the ends off, and with a knife start to get the peel off. Might be a little bit challenging when it's green, but it's all good. So we're gonna shred. And this is optional. Like I went ahead and shred 1/2 of the plantain because I wanted to give it, with the broth, I wanted to thicken the asopao. Or you can just slice it like that. Perfectly fine. All right, so we're gonna add here the rice, and this is parboiled brown rice because it cooks quicker. I'm impatient. I don't want to wait too long for my asopao to be ready. So usually use the Uncle Ben's parboiled whole grain rice. And there's about 1/4 of a cup. I'm going to add the rest of the broth here. And any other seasonings you want to add. So, oregano is always good. Salt and pepper to taste. Or maybe the Benson's salt-free seasoning. I love to use that one a lot. And then, okay, so we're gonna add the garlic now, or you can add it right when the rice has cooked. So that way you still retain more of that flavor. So we're gonna let that start to boil and cook. Let's add the other plantain. So we're gonna cook that until the rice, you can see the rice is starting to swell and cook. Okay, so for this asopao, you can use any bean. You can use pinto bean, you can use black-eyed peas, you can use white beans, so any of those. I'm using red beans today. There's also another bean that I want to talk to you about. It's called gandules, and these are traditionally in Puerto Rico. We cook a lot of rice with gandules, so you can make an asopao with gandules. And these is found usually in the frozen section, and they're delicious. They're not like peas, they're more like beans. Okay, so any of these, if you're using dry beans, you have to cook them before you add them to the asopao. And the asopao, we're gonna cook it until, you know, we see the rice, and then we're gonna add the beans. We're gonna add the butternut squash or calabaza. Have you heard of calabaza? So this is the calabaza that we find in a lot of Latin countries, this type of squash. So you can add this calabaza, or you can just do butternut squash or whatever's in season. So then we add some cabbage. Now I'm adding this red cabbage because I love red cabbage. I love the color. And that's pretty much it. We cook it until the pumpkin or calabaza is cooked. So once it's cooked, it's gonna look something like this. We have our beans nicely complementing this dish. And at the end, so we'll add some cilantro, a little bit of cilantro, diced cilantro, and avocado slices. Isn't it delicious? So just be a little bit creative, you know, just think outside the box. All of these meals don't have to be difficult, and they don't have to take a lot of time. So I encourage you to experiment with different spices, different flavors, and think of foods all around the world that are plant-based. So if you want to become a plant-based expert, I invite you to check out our website. We have a magnificent plant-based nutrition course, and you can go in there and take a sample course. So I have shared the link with you. You can go in there and check out all of the information and how to register. And this will help you have all the tools you need to improve your health, and perhaps even learn about, you know, other careers that you can do with plant-based nutrition. So thank you so much for joining us, and see you next time.